Move over, NSA. Here comes the Obamacare Big Brother database. And this is a story from rare.us breaking down all the subsections and the GOA report, going on to say that this basically was a cover to legalize all the different federal agencies spying without warrants and to allow them to share it unlimited. So the NSA for decades has been spying on everything the American people do. It's targeting the press, the Congress for blackmail. Everything we've told you has now come out. We're also going to get into the NSA. Mood shifting. Congress may move to limit NSA spying. I'll give you the news behind the news, the story behind the story, the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. NSA phone snooping cannot be challenged in court, feds say. It's not illegal when the president does it. It's not illegal when the bureaucrats do it. Yeah, it didn't work for Nixon or Hitler or Julius Caesar. It ain't going to work for you either. Let's just look at the current situation. Here's McClatchy newspapers. Mood shifting. Congress may move to limit NSA spying. No, what's really happened here is this has become so obvious now they want to do window dressing. It's like when the torture came out, the illegal torture of innocent people even, as if torture wasn't bad enough. And so they tried to pass laws saying they get rid of torture, but actually it codified torture, just calling it something else. So that's what's really going on there. Congress has been part of all of this, just like they've been part of the NSA spying. And it turned out they would tell the NSA, don't brief us, we don't want to know. They're just shelling out as fast as they can, wanting to not be involved in the felonies. So here's another one. NSA phone snooping cannot be challenged in court, the feds say. Yeah, Hitler said he was above the law. So did Richard Nixon. Bill Clinton said he was above the law. This is the essence of tyrants. They say they are sovereign, not the law, not the general people. The National Security Agency headquarters has now responded to lawsuits telling a federal judge that wholesale vacuum up of all phone data in the United States is a public interest, and they decide it. Of course, our law, our Constitution, common sense says it'll be used by special interests to corner markets, to manipulate markets, to shut down competition, and it comes out they're not spying on terrorists. The globalists run most of the terrorists. That's on record now. See, told you that for years, now it's on record. Because the cutting edge of this is that they don't just spy on us. All this data ends up coming out in the open. So see, they're now saying they're above the law. Now, let's look at the next article here. Move over, NSA. Here comes the Obamacare Big Brother database. And this is a story from rare.us breaking down all the subsections and the GOA report, going on to say that this basically was a cover to legalize all the different federal agencies spying without warrants and to allow them to share it unlimited. So the NSA for decades has been spying on everything the American people do. It's targeting the press, the Congress for blackmail. Everything we've told you has now come out. Of course, because it had come out before, ladies and gentlemen. There just wasn't an internet for people to learn about it. It was in scholarly books, and it was in trade publications. But now the Daily Caller is reporting via drudgereport.com, has it linked up there, so does Infowars.com. IRS lawyer says scandal was overseen by D.C., names names. Oh, really? Oh, the pro-life groups and the churches and the libertarian and conservative groups being harassed by the IRS, and then none of the socialist groups or communist groups or the tyrannical fake liberal groups, none of them were audited. Gee, it was ordered from on top. I know. You mean they lied to me? Oh, Fast and Furious wasn't meant to get our guns, and then the memos came out it was? Oh, you mean they lied to me?
When it comes to telephone calls, every member of Congress has been briefed on this program. With respect to all these programs, the relevant intelligence committees are fully briefed on these programs. These are programs that have been authorized by broad bipartisan majorities repeatedly since 2006. And at the outset, it's important to understand that your duly elected representatives have been consistently informed on exactly what we're doing.
The apparatus of the Obama administration's NSA tentacles apparently have zero boundaries. After spying on journalists, foreign dignitaries, and the average Joe, it has finally now come to light that Obama and company have been spying on Congress itself.
I'm appalled by when we listen in on foreigners' conversation when they're talking to Americans. We're scooping up tens of thousands of conversations of Americans. This is a real problem because it's a real invasion of our privacy.
At this point, it wouldn't surprise anyone if funeral arrangements for the Fourth Amendment were announced within the next few days.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
As the communications of allies such as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu were monitored, so were their interactions with U.S. members of Congress, as well as American private interest groups, with links to the foreign leaders. One unnamed U.S. official revealed to the Wall Street Journal that the practice raised fears. The executive branch would be accused of spying on Congress. The Obama administration were wary of this and so simply allowed the NSA to decide what to share without making any specific requests. We didn't say, do it, a senior U.S. official said. We didn't say, don't do it.
You can see how it would stifle speech if you're going to eavesdrop on congressmen, and that it might stifle what they say or who they communicate with. We absolutely need more controls on the NSA and more controls on our intelligence agencies.
Forget controls, Senator Paul. We need heads to roll. And where is the president during this unprecedented breach of the Constitution? If you hadn't noticed, President Obama is down in Hawaii on an extended 2+ week vacation that is costing taxpayers no less than $470,000 per day. Once Obama finally leaves office, if he does, he will have spent nearly $70 million of taxpayer money on just 7 Hawaiian vacations alone. The last time I checked, the president's annual salary was $400,000 per year, with a $50,000 annual expense account and $19,000 for entertainment. When did anybody agree to fund $70 million of taxpayer money so that our thief-in-chief could live like a billionaire and focus on the new Star Wars film while putting his toes in the sand and simultaneously destroying our founding principles? Early this morning, a House panel hastily announced it had opened an investigation into the overreaching intelligence collection of Congress. Can you hear that sound? That's the sound of Tricky Dick rolling in his grave.
I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Another journalist who is also set out to expose the shadowy dealings of secret government groups is Glenn Greenwald. Now, in his finale piece dealing with the Edward Snowden revelations, Greenwald says he's going to reveal the names of the Americans that the NSA is spying on. Now, Greenwald told the UK's Sunday Times that Snowden's legacy would be shaped in large part by this finishing piece that is still to come. Greenwald said, one of the big questions when it comes to domestic spying is who have been the NSA's specific targets? Are they political critics and dissidents and activists? Are they genuinely people we'd regard as terrorists? What are the metrics and calculations that go into choosing those targets? And what is done with the surveillance that is conducted? Those are the kinds of questions that I want to answer. Now, Greenwald, of course, went on to slam the NSA for its ineptitude, saying, here we have this huge menacing surveillance spy apparatus who allowed a contractor to steal and download nearly 2 million files, and of course proving that they have no control over the data protection. And then of course they couldn't even catch the guy, and admittedly they haven't even caught a single terrorist with this massive surveillance net.